Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail might have some serious competition in the way of Blue Archive and Nikke. The reason I say this is because as of 2023, Blue Archive's revenue has more than doubled, whereas Genshin Impact, well, it hasn't. And while Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail both continue to make upwards of $20 to $50 million per month globally, Blue Archive is catching up. Blue Archive will grow significantly in 2023. Recorded revenue and download numbers more than double compared to the same period last year in the global market. This is an analysis that Sensor Tower published and is published onto 4Gamer, which is a Japanese website translated into English. Wait, there's a for women category here. I don't even know, like, do I want to click? I kind of want to click that. Okay, this is actually, this is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, okay, I was expecting something explicit. And I'm a little disappointed. Now, before we delve any deeper into Blue Archive, I want to take a moment here to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I love your faces. Now back to the video. I also want to note here that this game could actually reach even greater heights, even larger numbers, if they release a dedicated PC client. I'm just saying. Blue Archive is a mobile RPG released by Yostar in February 2021 with the theme of School X Youth X Story. The player takes on the role of a teacher who leads his students to solve all the incidents that occur in the academic city. I mean, yeah, you're the sensei, and your goal is to impart your infinite wisdom onto all of the adorable characters to nurture them into becoming model citizens, all the while attempting to solve a mystery that is plaguing the school. And I'm very invested in the game, actually, almost account level 90 at present. I've played it every single day for the last 3 months. Thoroughly enjoying this. According to Sensor Tower data, Blue Archive's cumulative worldwide revenue will exceed $400 million from its release to October 2023. In terms of revenue share by market, approximately 75% comes from the Japanese market. This is actually true. Blue Archive makes like $15 to $20 million a month, and roughly 12 to 18 million of that comes from Japan. Although I am curious, if this is only number 3, and number 3 makes like $15 to $20 million a month, what is number 2 and number 1, which ranks first with revenue of over $300 million during the same period? During the same period, the number of downloads worldwide was approaching 9 million, and the share of downloads by market was approximately, so 35% of players play from Japan, or 35% of new players come from Japan, but over 75% of revenue comes from Japan. So clearly this appeals much more to the Japanese audience in terms of spending, but in terms of cumulative players, Western players outnumber the Japanese players and are less willing to spend money on the game, probably because they're spending them all on Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact waifus. It turns out the Blue Archive has grown significantly in both revenue and number of downloads in 2023 compared to the previous year, and its worldwide revenue from January to October 2022 was $100 million. In contrast, global revenue from January to October 2023 doubled to $220 million. That wasn't doubled, that was larger. 100 to 220 million. That is quite sizable. Look at this graph. This is what you want to see from your gacha game, not Tower Fantasy, which was like 30 million, 20, 18, 12, 10, 5, 2, 1, and now it's at like 400K, I think. Nope, it actually boosted up from 600K to 800K this month. Okay, that's promising. Looking at the monthly revenue in Japan, in-game events commemorating the 2nd anniversary and the 2.5th anniversary in July were held, which is thought to be due to increased activation. It also appears that promotions outside of the game, such as pop-up stores and sales of collaborative products, had a large impact. The data shows a larger increase in the number of downloads. The number of downloads of Blue Archive worldwide from January to October 2023 was 3.77 million, an increase of approximately 2.2 times compared to the same period this last year. This seems to be due to the fact that it was released in the Chinese market in August 2023 with over 1.2 million downloads in the same month. Because Google Play is not available in China, the number of downloads on iOS devices has increased by 393% compared to the same period last year. So wait, maybe the inclusion of China will bring the game to Genshin levels. That is crazy to think about. In Blue Archive's revenue in Japan From January to October 23, it ranks third after Uma Musume and Nikke. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Uma Musume makes double what Nikke makes, which makes 25% more than Blue Archive makes, which makes 10% more than Heaven Burns Red makes. I do recognize these images, which makes about 20% more than Memento Mori makes. So I honestly don't know how Memento Mori, which is an idle gacha game, continues to make as much money as it does. But I am very impressed here that Nikke is the second most popular gacha game in Japan. But I'm also baffled at the fact that the horse girl, Uma Musume, is still the #1. The horse racing horse girl gacha game has more income, regular income, than Nikke. It's actually about roughly Nikke and Blue Archive combined, which is just fucking insane. But I mean, Uma Musume has no presence outside of Japan. Blue Archive and Nikke both do, and typically make roughly as much, if not more, if you factor in worldwide sales, worldwide downloads. Oh, and that's it. That was everything. Wow. Well, okay. Well, I mean, there you go. Blue Archive is on the way to becoming one of the most I mean, let's be honest here. It already is one of the most popular gacha games in the world right now, but it is on its way to becoming a contender for the most popular gacha game in the world, with the potential to maybe dethrone Genshin Impact as the #1 most, or at the very least highest grossing gacha game in 2024. Now, if this is not something you're at all interested in though, absolutely no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now. That be yeah, I gotta start recording so late. Okay, I can't English. That might be more up your alley. Now, before we delve